Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to thank AlmaLaurea and Andrea Camelli for inviting me to chair this panel discussion on a very important topic. We've understood this already. It's a complex topic with multiple balances. We have to be clear about the negative and positive effects over time, but we're not so clear at the moment. Let me highlight a few points for discussion. Now, the freedom of choice and the freedom of moving from one place to the other opens up new perspectives, a higher income, and also job security. In the written report, it is said that many people who go abroad have less networks of relations in Italy, so they find it easier to go abroad. But to many, this is a compulsory choice. It's something they're forced to do. 50% of the graduates from the scientific areas go abroad because it's necessary for them to do so. Otherwise, they can't find a job. So is it free choice or not? Second point, the impact that this has in the various geographical areas. It's a complex phenomenon. We're not doing statistical analysis here. You know, we have Italians who go abroad, others who come back. Then we have some foreigners coming here to work, but very few of the many foreigners living in Italy. The basic qualification is much lower than that of the foreigners living in other European countries, and they're also employed in jobs of lower level than their qualifications would demand. It's a worrying phenomenon because it's on the rise. And, you know, a situation in which so many people come in and so many people go out may be an optimal situation, but if you have too many people going out and too few coming in, then there is an imbalance. In Portugal, there is an epoch-making phenomenon of migration. A Portuguese expert living in Paris said that it's exactly the same as in the dictatorship time. The society is disrupting. It's a phenomenon which is also true in many regions in Italy. The north of Italy received flows of human capital in the past, but now it's in a different position. Now they're also exporting human capital. So there are positive and negative aspects in all this. The Statistical Institute says that in 2012, 8,500 graduates left, more than those who came in. And the cost of those going out per year is really very high. There's a problem of self-selection. Not all graduates are the same. Very often, graduates who leave have more motivations, higher marks. They are better than the others. I'm sorry for speaking as an economist, but we have negative implications in terms of less tax revenue and other issues, less related to economic problems. Now, we have built Europe for all this to take place, but when this takes huge proportions, and if the flows are one-directional only for a very long period of time, then this may be a reason of some concern. As Romano Prodi would say, and he's here with us, we would need moderate or tempered mobility. Mobility is indeed something positive, but it should create a diffuse, widespread benefit for many people. Is this feasible? Many of the things we do promote this mobility. The Erasmus programs, a brilliant achievement of the European Union. We would like all Italian students to go on an Erasmus program, also high school students. Many universities do job placement. The Bocconi University, for example, and I was reading an interview the other day, does or places its graduates abroad to a large extent. Now, this microeconomic activity of universities and other entities should be counteracted by some policies of our country in order to allow for these graduates to come back. And how is this possible? Then there is another big issue that I would like to introduce here before leaving or before giving the floor to the members of the panel discussion. This phenomenon is a clear sign of the difficulties that our country is encountering. First of all, there is the possibility of creating highly qualified jobs in this country in order to fight against this brain drain. So the trend should change a lot as compared to the present situation. From one of the previous slides, you saw that 60% of the graduates in scientific subject groups work in foreign universities. In 2006, we had 19,853 researchers in Italian universities. In 2013, they are 13,884. It's data from the ministry, so 6,000 researchers less. So this number has decreased by 30%. Andrea, please allow me to say something incidentally. The fact is that this 30% is not the same everywhere. There are places where this value is much higher. So perhaps on a future occasion, we should also talk about the different policies in the different universities, because it's very important to be clear about what we actually reward when distributing the funds among the different universities. The decree on the staff points was the worst one. I think we should discuss this for the benefit of us all to know what we're talking about. Then we have a problem of industrial policies. We can't avoid this. We have many spreads with Germany. 24% of the Italian managers has got a degree, while 51% of the German managers have a degree. And this has very much to do with the ability to innovate. Then a rhetorical question. There are people who, in the light of this evidence, say that the problem can be solved by allowing less people to get a degree. If we have to bear a cost for these graduates and then they leave and go to work abroad, then we should allow less people to graduate. Then another rhetorical question. University policies should adapt to reality, should actually become aware of the fact that these graduates cannot find a job and therefore should enter the job market as diploma holders, not as degree holders. This is a sign of the extraordinary potentials of this country. You know, we have 5,000 people who left, who are very capable. They are highly motivated. They are better than their workmates. And they actually represent a note of optimism for this country. We continue preparing highly qualified people who could allow us to start growing again.